Hi guys! Welcome to this week's author confession. I wanted to talk this week about my writing process and my writing inspiration because I found my copy of my Alice book, which I'm really excited about because I thought it was lost, and I was really sad because I have used it to write all of my notes, and I know it looks like really kind of battered and abused, but this is really important to me because this is kind of where I put all of my notes because I write retellings, and so part of my process before I do much of anything aside from getting my general idea for what I want to do is to get the book that I want to retell or the story that I want to retell and really familiarize myself with it. And part of that is something that I learned in high school and college, and it's marking up the pages. So if you were to look through this, you would kind of see different notes that I have written in the margins, and then I took those and I wrote for how I want to work the retelling into my writing. So for example, this part right here, the note is talking about, it's in Alice in Wonderland, and she's talking to the caterpillar. And so I highlighted that part, and then in my scratchy, terrible, awful handwriting, I wrote Caterpillar explains antidote, and I'm not going to give more because it's kind of a spoiler, but so then in Alice, when she's talking to the caterpillar character who is actually named Bug, he talks to her a little bit about the MRV virus and how that antidote is going to work. So I'm not going to give you any more information, but I wanted to show you kind of what I'm working on. I also was really excited when I pulled this out because I'm planning on finishing up Peter this month, my first draft, and then in April I'm going to be starting the sequel to Alice, which is Through the Looking Glass. So I'm really excited to kind of tuck back in and just revisit and familiarize myself with Alice and her story again and see what wonderful twists and spins I can give to her. Anyways, what is your favorite part about plotting out your new book? Do you love character development? Do you love just coming up with your outline? What excites you the most when you have a new story in your brain? I want to know. Comment below and make sure that you check out this week's confession. My guest today is Reagan Colbert. She is a self-published author of the Roman Soul series, and she is here to talk to us today about her trilogy. Reagan, can you give us some information?
Yeah, thanks. The Roman Soul series, I published all 3 books last year, and it's a novella series on Amazon Kindle. It's set in 4th century Jerusalem at the time of the crucifixion and the resurrection. And the protagonist is Marcus. He's a Roman soldier who is forced to crucify Christ. And he's different from every other Roman soldier in the fact that he has a soul. That's why it's like the Roman Soul series. And so the story follows him as he crucifies Christ, and then he comes to find out who it was that he crucified, and he's there for the resurrection and the ascension, and it just follows his adventure. The trilogy follows his adventure as he escapes the legion and life as a Christian.
Very cool. So your book definitely has a lot of religious tones to it. Does that play into your personal beliefs at all?
It does. I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian pretty much for the past 10 years, since I was 9 years old. I'm 19. So pretty much this book was born out of a desire to be able to share my faith. But a lot of the time when people share their faith, it's very preachy and people are taken off by that. So I found that fiction is a way to be able to share my faith without preaching at people. It tells a story that shows what God can do in someone's life. And this story itself was born out of my own personal struggles because Marcus, even though, I'm not a Roman soldier or anything like that, Marcus's struggles of fear and doubt and all these things are my personal ones. And that played into my protagonist, and the way that God helps him and gives him strength, I believe is like a fictional representation of what he's done in my life.
I think that's very admirable, and I like that. Very cool. I can't believe you're only 19. You're a baby.
I started writing 5 years ago in high school. So, I just started high school when I started writing, and I just published last year.
Wow.
First time I ever published anything. Yeah, I'm pretty much brand new.
Oh my gosh, yeah, but still, like, you are so accomplished, like 19, and you have a trilogy out. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you. Well, I credit that to God, because I figure I couldn't have done this without him. Because yeah.
How do you balance 19-year-old life, whether that's school or a job or whatever, and writing these books?
Well, to be completely honest, not very well. Not very well at all. No. Well, for me, it was like pretty much I had just graduated, like the year before I started writing this series. And I'd always loved writing. It was just a hobby for me. I did on the side time when I was bored or when I didn't do anything. And pretty much the actual full-blown writing started last year when I got the idea for The Hidden Soul. And that's actually almost exactly 1 year ago that I got the idea for The Hidden Soul. And I poured my life pretty much into that. So now that I've already been published, since I've been published with these books, my life has really picked up. Like, I now have a boyfriend, and I'm now, like, getting out there doing other stuff. And so it's kind of hard for me now to balance after I've written the book. But my current work in progress, I have 2 works in progress, actually. They're not, one of them's not very much a work in progress. The other one is. But, yeah. It's interesting, though, because I'm ghostwriting now.
Oh, cool.
So pretty much fiction writing's on the back burner right now, but balancing is just whenever I get the inspiration, I'll just go write really quick and then go back to doing something else and back and forth all day. So
nice. That's really cool. So you ghostwrite and you have your works in progress. How do you work with the two? Tell me a little bit about your process.
Okay, well, I have the 2 different because one of them is my fiction. And I had started it as my only work in progress because I had nothing else going on, because I had just published the 3rd book of the Roman Soul series and I had nothing going on. And then about a month after I started writing that book is when I got hired for my ghostwriting job. And so that one's pretty much on the front burner. So my work in progress is kind of hit back burner right now, and I'll just go there whenever I'm stuck on the other. So pretty much I'm focused on the ghostwriting right now.
Right, which, I mean, makes sense. Like, you've got a job, you've got to, sometimes you got to do what pays the bills. How did you find that?
Well, see, that's pretty much that. I would say that story is more interesting than any fiction novel I could come up with, is because I met a young man in my local area at a grocery store, and he began to tell me his story of how actually he's battled brain cancer, and he's still battling brain cancer. And he was just this amazing young guy, and he introduced me to his mother, who hired me to write the story of his brain cancer and his sister's cancer, and I ended up being hired by her, and he ended up becoming my boyfriend.
Oh, so it's like a happy story too.
As a writer, I look at it and I'm like, oh, this would be a perfect plot. And I'm not going to write this when I'm done with my book. I'm just going to write this and fictionalize it.
Right. Like, this is work in progress 3, Reagan. Work in progress 3. Thank you so much for chatting me with this morning. I would like, if you could, come up with a very own question of yours to ask my viewers. Do you have anything in mind?
Okay,
I'm putting you on the spot.
All right. My focus in fiction is protagonists. So my question would probably be, in what way are you as the author represented in your protagonist?
So, authors, how is your protagonist like yourself? Do they have your traits and tendencies? Maybe some bad habits? Maybe some good habits? Maybe they look like you. What do you do to make your protagonist reflect yourself? All right. Well, thank you so much, Reagan. It's been really nice chatting to you and getting to know you a little bit better. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So it seems like I have been talking to a lot of people who self-publish, and I have to say I am very impressed by you all. You put in a lot of work. So very well done. Here's one. See my scratchiness? It's a mess. It is a mess. The other thing that you all have been working very hard on each week are improving our pitches. But don't take my word for it. Check them out. it for this week. I have some outlining that I've got to go do, so I am going to say goodbye and hope you all have a wonderful week. And as always, happy writing. Down the rabbit hole. This is where it all starts.